Hello and welcome everyone to one more episode of Tactical Periodization Moments. I'm sorry, Felipe, I didn't tell you we have a name for this. It's called Tactical Periodization Moments. It's a simple podcast. It will last for around 30 minutes. And on each episode, we invite a coach and talk with him or her about his life, his experience, maybe a couple of advices that he or she has for us. And it can be a current student of ours, of our professional master, a former student, or any coach that we feel that fits this program. So today, there's a special guest with us. We are very pleased to announce Felipe Castillo from Santiago, Chile. I'm very happy that you have accepted this invitation. I'm looking forward to starting this interview, and it's always a pleasure talking to you. And thank you and welcome.
Hi, Felipe. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the invite. It's a real honor to me be here with you, and I hope I can help you in anything you want. So thank you again.
Okay. Well, maybe there are so many questions. You live on the other side of the world. We have 30 minutes. No hurry, but we'll keep the time under control a little bit. So maybe we'll start by if you can tell us about your path as a coach and also your travel throughout your country in a young age to go and study at Santiago, because you weren't born at Santiago. You had to make a big travel around your country. And can you please tell us a little bit about that and how you went into football and how you chose your path, please?
Sure, Felipe. Well, Chile is a footballized country, like all Latin America, maybe. So in football, I've been inserted all my life. In the beginning, as a child, maybe as a player, and older, because I'm not really good in the sport. Maybe I try to be good in coaching. But I study physical education teacher in Punta Arenas, is the southest city in the world. It's really close to Antarctica. So after that, I decided to move to Santiago, to the capital of Chile, and try to go deeper in the studies in football. And in that idea, I entered to INAF, el Instituto Nacional del Fútbol Chileno, to make my studies as coach. And that maybe 8 years ago. So after that, I've been working in football in different kind of specialists of football, like football, futsal, Paralympic football, and also some academic issues or academic state of football too.
Well, it was a big travel for you. Did you feel any differences between your life in the south near Antarctica and in Santiago? How was it?
It is not Antarctica as the same place. It's really close. Yes, it's really difficult. It's really different because Punta Arenas is so far away that any big information or any big capacitation or any big sport activity is never possible to live in there. So if you want to make bigger your knowledge or bigger your experience, you must travel to other cities. So when I came to Santiago, it was really difficult to me because I didn't know anyone here. I didn't have any kind of contact or any kind of relation, but some kind of family. So the first years was quite difficult, but after some time, I could make a life here, make some experience, go deeper in studies, and go and it go really well, I think.
Okay, speaking about your studies, how did tactical periodization come into your life?
And enough, in the last part of the football career, the institute teach tactical periodization. Obviously, many years ago, the deeper in the methodology was not really good, but the principal idea was always there. The books we read was first book of Tamarit, and with that book and that experience, we learn about tactical periodization. After my study there, when I start to work as teacher in the institute, I start to learn more about that, reading another writers like Tobar and George Reis, and I was quite better in the understanding of the methodology. And after that, I came to the master. So in that moment, 2021, I really understand the idea, because after that, so before that, my ideas was close, but not really what Professor Friday want to express.
Okay. I don't know if everyone who is listening knows about this, but we at Tactical Periodization have a big sympathy and also an alliance or a partnership with INAF, the institute that Felipe is talking about. We are very proud of that. We cooperate in some things, and we hope to continue to do so for many years to come. And how is tactical periodization accepted by your students there in INAF?
Good question. I think in the beginning it's a real crash to them, because they must change so many things that we supposed like laws in the traditional studies. Tactical periodization changed everything. So in the beginning, they must like reform their brains to these new ideas, this new kind of feel and think about the thing, about the knowledge. And maybe the first week or second week is a little harder. But after that, when they start to understand why these ideas are put in that way, or why a professor think in this kind of form, is quite simple to go deep and deep in every single session to some kind of understanding. Not so deep, because we study like 3 or 4 months, but enough to understand what is the real idea of tactical periodization.
Yes. Well, of course, the best starting point is talking about it, having someone trying to pass on the knowledge. And after that moment where the knowledge is passed on to the classes, to the students, do you feel like there is a direct impact of in their lives as coaches? I mean, do they apply, or do you feel like they apply tactical periodization in their clubs, in their teams? How do you see the practical part of that studies?
I know many coaches that use it in their different contexts: professional football, amateur football, school of football, formative, and whatever. I think it depends. So, some students maybe they prefer another kind of methodology, like Professor Seirulo methodology, and others like the ideas of tactical periodization. But the student that like it and use it, I think they really try to express as good as I can in their context. I repeat, we teach them like 3 or 4 months, so it's not really deep, the methodology, but give them the tools to start in this process. And maybe if they want to make better work or make better experience, they can continue these studies maybe in our partnership with the diplomado, or maybe in the future in the master with you.
Yes, speaking of that, it was a really good surprise to see that our first big event was so successful. We had a maximum of 50 participants in this diplomado, and it was sold out, and it was a really good surprise, and I think the feedback is really good. Well, I believe you have some connections to futsal, as you said, and also um, football for handicap. Have you had the chance to apply tactical periodization in futsal? How did it go? You know, Professor Vitor Frade always says that it was developed for football, of course, because he had a whole life dedicated to football, and he created and developed it and applied it in football, of course, in his life. But he always says that if it's a collective sport, it can be adapted to it. So do you think, have you had the chance to try it in futsal
Yes,
and the other footballs you teach?
totally. I think the same as you say is use it. You can use it in every single sport team, and I've been using it in football, futsal, and Paralympic football from many times. And I think the big difference is just the spaces, but the logic is the same. So if you have the principles clear, the ideas clear, you can express in different kind of contexts. Maybe in another sport too, basketball, handball, water polo, whatever, because the idea, the logic is me quedé pegado, Felipe. Esa la podemos repetir.
Yes, I can help you with a word or two.
The idea is solid, maybe.
Solid.
Yeah, solid. So the idea is solid, and it has really and deep scientific proof. So you can study, analyze it, make a reflection, and use it in different kind of sports. It's not a real difficult. It's just a process of reflection of every single coach.
Yes, I think so too. How is football in Chile in general? I'd like to talk to you also about the kids. How are the kids in Chile? How they play? Are they still playing in the streets of Santiago or not? But how is football in Chile in general?
Well, football is clearly the most popular sport in Chile and in all Latin America. So most of kids are involved in this sport. And they can play it first the most time in schools and in in the school and the formative football schools. Not so many in the streets, because with the civilization go bigger and bigger, the spaces to play safety in the street is every single day smaller or fewer. So when I was kid, when I was a child, I can play like every day in the streets, but in this moment it's not that easy. The parents don't want to expose their kids to the dangers, so the spaces to play football are the school or the football schools. In that scenario, I think we must try to make better schools to give them the experience, give them good experience, not experience soft, because they don't have so many time to play it, not like before.
Yeah. Well, I believe that when you were a kid, you weren't playing with your bare feet, like the Brazilian kids, for instance, because you lived so close to Antarctica. It wouldn't be possible to play without shoes. I'm just guessing.
It's not that close of Antarctica. It's this most. It's the city closer to Antarctica, not that close. But obviously, in Punta Arenas, the city has real low temperatures, so many wind, so we play in closed spaces like gymnasios, gyms, and most of the time. You can play football too, but in some kind of stations of the year is really difficult because the wind, over 100 kilometers of wind. And that is really easy right here in Santiago, because the temperatures are always allowed you to play in every time of the year. So in that idea, Santiago is more effective to play football.
Okay. Well, I heard a story that I like very much about the desert of Atacama. I believe that a kind of rose grows there, and it lasts only for one day. And they are famous because they're called roses of Atacama Desert. They only last for one day, and I really hope that the kids playing on the streets in Chile lasts a little bit longer, because it's that kind of experiences can last for a lifetime. It can be very enriching for a complete career as a football player. Do you believe that it could be a perfect start for kids to play on the streets and learn about the game on their own without the intervention of adults? The intervention in the way that they make a lot of rules, they conditionate a lot of the game. Do you think that's a good way?
Of course, I think is the biggest idea, because if we want smart players, if we want creative players, we must give them the opportunity to express that by themselves. So in that ages, the little ages, and the coach as that name maybe is not necessary. They just need some kind of guide, some kind of person who give them the opportunity to express different ideas. And maybe the street is a good place to know that, or to learn all that things, because they have to organize themselves. They have to whatever they want, maybe 2 rocks or maybe some space to make the field, and that make them the opportunity to be smarter, to be creative, set and whatever. If the coaches try to put many rules, many conditions, many limitations to the activity, that idea is clearly not as stronger. So I think if the kids don't have the street, the coaches need to try to simulate that in our trainings. Maybe give them the opportunity to auto-organize and replicate what we live in the street many years before.
Yes, I really like the way you put that, and I really believe that's the way. At least the way to continue something, not to kill it. How is this new generation of coaches in Chile? Do you believe they have a good future ahead?
Good question. I hope they have a good future. I think the culture of Chile don't give enough credit to our coaches, because the big directors of football, they are not really as knowledge of the what we do in INAF, and maybe they prefer foreigners coaches so many times, and you see professional teams with a lot of foreigners coaches and not as Chileans as we want. And we hope we can change that with this kind of partnership, like with you, like another institute who can prove that we are doing a good job. And we know our students go out of the institute really capable to make their job really good in different contexts, in different kind of professional teams or formative teams, and they just need the opportunity. So we hope the directives of football give them that opportunity and trust in Chilean people, because they really can do a good job, and I'm really sure about that.
Okay. And what about the players? For instance, in Brazil, they have this tradition of cheering for the players that dribble a lot, and they cheer very much for a player that dribbles a lot. But if you go to Argentina, they cheer a lot for that player that has that shows a lot of heart, that delivers himself to the game, that is a little bit that makes some tackles, and a harder player. How is the Chilean player? How would you describe that culture inherent to the players?
I don't know if coach share about a player, but yes, about a kind of style of playing. In Chile, really like the aggressive kind of playing, because after Marcelo Bielsa in like 2006, 2007, he changed the way that Chile play in selection teams. So after that, the people want to keep looking that or watching that, and they don't want, like we saw before, that like a Chilean team so low in the space trying to counterattack. No, they want in this moment some Chilean teams that go up in the field, that keep the ball, that are really aggressive to the another box. And that is the big idea, what people want about the Chilean team. And with that kind of play, Chile won their Copa Americas in 2015, 2016. They go to Confederation Cup, to the final, to Germany. And so I think that idea keeps in the Chilean people, and they would like to see our team winning, but always with some kind of idea in that way, in that aggressive way, and not so passive like maybe was before Marcelo Bielsa.
Yes, and it's a really recent change. Do you think it came to stay?
I think yes, yeah, I think is trying to stay, because obviously the big generation of players of Chile in this moment, they are over 30 years, so they're going to going over in some moment. And after that, the new generations, maybe they don't have the real names or the big names that Alexis Sanchez, Arturo Vidal, Claudio Bravo, and whatever. So I hope with the new generations, Chile can keep that idea of always being present, always being protagonists of the play, and not coming back to some kind of style of playing that is maybe so passive or so defensive, because I don't think Chilean people want to see that again.
Yeah. If I were to come to Chile as a coach, what could be the three main advices that you would give me?
Good question. Surprising one. Maybe the first one, obviously, is trying to take some kind of second training that know really good the context of when are you going to work, because Chile is so large. So if you are in the north, it's really different as if you are in the south. So
Okay.
you must know the real place where are you going to make your coaches.
Yes, so the first thing is I have to get one good assistant coach that knows really well the zone of the country that we're gonna coach.
Yeah, because as I say, it's really long Chile, so are different cultures in every single part, north, center, and south.
Okay.
Maybe the second one, and trying to make a culture advice or culture improve in the team, so they can make this professional football better than as we used to play it in South America, maybe with some kind of European ideas, make an improve in the culture of the club. I think that is a really important thing we should try to emulate from Europe, because you do it really good in that professional style. In Chile, sometimes the culture give the players different components that are not really good in the professional play.
Okay. And the last one?
All right, you want to.
It's funny you didn't say you have to learn Spanish.
I didn't say that because you speak really good Spanish, so you didn't need that advice. And maybe every single one in Portugal speak really good Spanish, I think.
Yes, but do you think that one coach that doesn't speak, at least for the players to understand the coach, do you think that, that there's this need to speak Spanish, or you can do it in English or in French or whatever other?
No, you must do it in Spanish, because in Chile we don't speak really good English, as you can see with me. So the players maybe they didn't speak as good so much English. So you must know Spanish if you want to work in Chile. Maybe your assist can help you with that, but obviously if you can make a course of Spanish after coming, that would a really good idea.
Okay. So we are 10 seconds away from the 30 minutes interview. If I can, well, I have a really important last question, if you don't mind. How do you see, or how do you feel, or how are you feeling your experience in the professional master in tactical periodization?
Well, I always want to study with you because, as I say before, I was study tactical periodization many years, but principle for books or for videos, and not with the real source of the methodology, with the real ideas of the professor and the real professors or teachers that you have. So when this opportunity came in English, I didn't think twice. I tried to take this chance and make my better effort to learn as much as I can with you. I really recommend to everyone to take this master if they really want to understand the methodology, because with books and videos, you are never going to be in the real ideas that tactical periodization express. So I am really happy to have this opportunity. I wanna keep doing my best to take all the knowledge that you give us, and I hope maybe this can keep in the future, maybe with another master, go deeper, and maybe not stop to learn, because every single year new information and new ideas are coming, so we must keep every single time as fresh as I can.
Thank you, Felipe. Well, I think that's it. I'm Felipe Moraes, by the way. Thank you, everyone else, for listening. This time with Felipe Castillo. It was really a pleasure. Let me thank you again for accepting this invitation. And I really hope to see you in Portugal soon. And everyone else, I really hope that you enjoy this, and hope to see you in another episode of Tactical Periodization Moments. Well, good night or good day, depending on where we are. And Felipe, thank you once again, and have a good night.
Thank you, Felipe, for the invite. And as I say, this was a real honor to me. So I hope I can see you soon in Porto. And thank you, everyone who's listening to this interview.
Thank you. Bye-bye.